and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Everyone, Kyle here, and it is Sunday. You know what that means? It's a bonus edition of the toy news, all the action figure news of the last couple of days that excited me, that hopefully excites you, and I can't believe there was so much bonus toy news from the 4th of July and the 3rd of July that I had to do a separate video, but there's some stuff to dive into, there's some stuff to talk about, and we got to get into it right here. But first off, hopefully everybody had a good 4th of July. Hopefully everybody's got their fingers and their toes, why not? Todd's got his toes, he's wiggling around on the couch. And Todd, you ate 10 hot dogs last night. It was a wild thing over there. It was a wild power move, but not to be outdone this morning. Here we are very early in the morning, and Mark Summers is over here on the couch. So the Double Dare stand at the Mall of America is closed this weekend, so Mark Summers is here. And a true power move that only Mark Summers could do, eating a chili dog on my couch. Dangerous, be careful with that. That looks extra sloppy. Like extra sloppy Double Dare, of course. But Mark Summers, good to have you here. A rare treat, and we don't take it for granted, Mark Summers. But before we get into all these toy news here, we got to plug our sponsor, jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15%. 10% this weekend in the stores, the brick and mortar stores. Got to get a deal out there. Patreon, it is the Ultimate Edition, Papa Shango, and the Ultimate Warrior. Giving that away over on Patreon this month of July. Big month on Patreon, big month every month on Patreon. Get early access to all the videos, podcasts, you name it, plenty of stuff. And your best way to support the channel and all the content it does bring. You guys know that by now. And Pro Wrestling Tees running a big sale this weekend, 20% off. Head over there, USA26 is the code. Pick up a Kyle Peterson shirt, pick up a Terry Funk shirt. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? There's worse things to waste your money on, let me tell you. Speaking of things and wasting money, no, I wouldn't go that far. But speaking of controversy, oh my gosh, a controversial weekend. I have been flooded with instant messages, direct messages, AOL Messenger. I've been flooded with all of them the last couple of days wanting my opinion, and I'm going to talk about it here. And we're going to start it off with July 3rd. I think it was about 10 a.m. my time. Big Rubber Guy Sting, and it did sell out very quick. It sold out in about 20 minutes. One of 2,000, what was it, 1250 on that one? I think the 250 on the end, the play on the America 250, I think is what that is. Sold out in 20 minutes. A lot of people's pretty worked up about that one. A lot of messages. I'm selling my collection. They don't care about their fan base. How dare they? It's just a random time drop. I live on the West Coast. I live in a different country. All points considered. All valid, of course. They're all excuses, complaints, wherever you net those into. But it is very tough, and you cannot please everybody. We know that. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. There's a lot of shenanigans going around, a lot of conspiracies floating around, and you guys know I love a conspiracy more than the next guy, but we're going to talk a little bit about this one. So Sting was the first one. I did get my order in for Sting. Very happy for that. I talked about that in the toy news, but it did sell out in 20 minutes. Next day, on July 4th, America's birthday, Todd McFarlane, we had a 4-minute sellout. Yes, 4-minute. It was like 9 a.m. my time, I believe was what it was. It was Danhausen 1 of 500 edition. Now, I'm a completionist on this line, so I did put my money down. I did pick this one up, and I got on there right at 9 o'clock because they told that it was going to be 9 o'clock, so I already knew. Got in, checked out, no issues, just kind of moved on with my life. I did kind of have a little bit of disappointment in this. I said, Danhausen Mania, got to get the most out of your molds, got to get the most out of your contract if you're the Big Rubber Guys, Major Bendies team over there. Why wouldn't you? They're printing money with Danhausen. You've signed him. You're going to get all the money you can. You're going to squeeze that thing till it's dry. So it makes sense. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a total made-up gear for Danhausen. It's getting the most out of the mold we've seen numerous times. We got another Danhausen coming out. So I think that's why they went to the 500 instead of 1,000 or 1,500 edition on this one, because we've had so many Danhausens that look like this, and it's such a 4th of July themed one. Maybe it's not for everybody, but obviously it was with a 4-minute sellout. Now, I almost wonder if some of that craziness with Sting carried over today. Well, I better get it. And I think that's what's going on right here. And this is maybe one of those conspiracies, or maybe it's truth. I don't know. But Collect Major is about collections. You guys know Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, Canic over there. They're collectors at heart. They're like us. They collect. So they want to get all the buzz. They want to get the buzz, and a sellout creates buzz, not just in the wrestling community, not just the big rubber guy bubble, but outside of that. Maybe they're going to get some sneaker dealers out there. They're like, what's this big rubber guy stuff? What's going on with that? Maybe I need to get invested in that. Maybe I need to put some funds in there. Now, a lot of people taking the major group to task for not putting limits on these. And I totally understand. I put my business hat on. You put a limit of 1. What if it didn't sell out? Now, my gut tells me we knew both these probably would sell out pretty quickly. Maybe not 20 minutes, maybe not 4 minutes. It'd be a little bit longer, but I think this weekend they would sell out. But what if they didn't put limits on it? Or what if they put limits on it, was just 1 at a time? I don't know if no limits is the way to go. I think 2 is fair, especially in the cases of these ones here. But it is their company after all. And at the end of the day, it is about the money. They would rather have one person buy all 500 right at once to know they have a sellout instead of sitting there dangling for a couple of weeks out there. Now, they appreciate their fan base. I'm speaking for them, guys. I'm speaking for them. They appreciate their fan base, but they're in this to make money at the end of the day. Now, that leads to people saying maybe they're scalping on the secondary market. Maybe they're holding some back and selling on eBay and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that's the case. I don't know to say one way or the other, but I just don't see them doing that. But they don't want to have inventory left over. They don't want to be sitting on a ton of inventory. Look at All Ego Ethan Page. Not to pick on Ego, but he's got a bunch of figures that haven't been selling for Collect Major. They're just holding boxes of those, trying to get rid of them, discounting them down. I don't think Sting or Danhausen would ever get to that point, but they want to turn and burn product. They want to be moving things in, moving things out at all times. I totally understand that. Inventory costs money. That's what happens. You don't want pallets sitting there in a warehouse that you're charged every single day for and it's not moving. So they want to turn and burn, and they want to create buzz. And man, they got a lot of buzz out there. Good and bad. Controversy creates cash. That's what Eric Bischoff told us once upon a time. So there's a lot of ways to look at this one here. I understand the frustration of collectors, and we know once they do arrive later this year, they'll be for a fortune on eBay. Maybe things will settle down in the future. We'll see what ends up happening. Me personally, we have the AEW figures around the corner, and that's a whole other controversy I don't think we even talked about on the channel here, is that the AEW figures they were selling, I guess Kanik and I think Brian Myers as well, selling on Whatnot ahead of time. Now, pre-orders, be it Walmart, Target, Big Rubber Guys, it's just a pre-order that you're supposed to get the order. Yes, I'm aware, Todd McFarlane, Walmart sometimes drops the ball on that end, but a pre-order doesn't guarantee you're going to get it first. It doesn't mean everybody that pre-orders get them all the same day. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, but earlier than the guy that lives down the street. That's not going to happen. A pre-order is just supposed to guarantee you to get an order. Now, if you pre-ordered AEW, it was a limited time window. You had your time. It was made to order. You got in there. Obviously, people missed out. They couldn't afford it, whatever the reason is. Now they have another opportunity via, if I wanted to sell mine on eBay whenever those do come, or does Brian Myers or Kanik want to do that? It's up to them at the end of the day. I understand the look, of course. It feels like they're scalping their own product, but everybody honestly had the same time frame to order just like they did. They got them first. They are the company after all. But I can understand where people are kind of worked up about all that kind of stuff. I do understand it, but you shouldn't be as worked up as maybe some other things in life, because everybody did have a chance at those figures, and it was up to you to vote with your wallet at that time, or forever pay the piper and have to pay up like they were selling for on Whatnot. Now, I'm not a big fan of these limited edition ones. The 2 AEW ones are going to drive me nuts. I still haven't got my figures yet from AEW. I don't think anybody has, and they keep pushing back the goalpost on those. And that's one thing I don't want to look too deep in. I have every single major Bendies, Collect Major, Big Rubber Guy. I have them all on pre-order. Every single one on pre-order except the mascots. That's the only thing I haven't pre-ordered. I'm trying to decide if I want to do those, trying to decide on the long game or not. But I have them all on pre-order. I have thousands of dollars with them. At this point, I have more money in Big Rubber Guy pre-orders than I actually do in Powertown. I'm just like 700, 800 in Powertown. Powertown, I'll never forget you. But that's one of those things that kind of plays with my mind a little bit. Now, I fully do believe I will get all those Collect Major figures. I don't think I'm going to be left holding the bag like possibly Powertown. But it's a lot of money out there, and I really wish the Big Rubber Guys would slow their roll a little bit. Let's get these in people's hands. I've said it numerous times. If you say it's going to come in June, just say August. You look like a hero when it comes in July. I think they need to do a better job of that. They have moved the goalpost back. They're saying from now on it's going to be a year. Hopefully they surprise us a month or two earlier. I think that would make a lot of people happy, and it does a lot of goodwill. And unfortunately this weekend, by my messages I've been getting from people, it doesn't look like there's a ton of goodwill right now. But I think the people that got Sting and Danhausen, they're probably not complaining. And I know people have accused of, oh, this guy bought 100 of the Stings or whatever it is. I don't think that's the case. I guess I don't know either way. But it is an interesting business decision this weekend that will be very interesting for business in the future. Will it blow over? Will all the controversy blow over and get back to normal? Or all these people in Facebook groups and everything saying, I'm done with big rubber guys forever. I'm done collecting these. Are they actually done? I guess time will tell what ends up happening with that one there. But man, it was an interesting weekend, no doubt. It's weird. I just kind of got in on both of them. I didn't really even think of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get them. I got in. I was just fine. Your mileage may vary. I understand that, but we'll see what happens with these two 4th of July patriotic figures. Two brothers in paint, of course. Sting and Danhausen. A wild weekend here, like a young Dave Clark 5, Todd McFarlane. A wild weekend with the big rubber guys. Be interested to hear your comments down below. I know there's both sides of the fence on this one here. I'm not a huge fan of limited edition stuff. It's great to have limited edition stuff. This is just my personal take. At the end of the day, I just want figures. I collect figures. I'm not really here to make money and flipping and all that kind of stuff. I'm here for the passion and the fun of collecting. So it doesn't really matter to me what the limited editions are. That being said, I'm not just going to throw all this stuff in the garbage when I have to get rid of it all, whatever that day may come. I'm not going to say, well, this all goes in the garbage now. I'm just going to get rid of it. No, I'll get what I can out of it, but I fully expect, to take some losses, take some wins across the board. That's collecting. But if you're collecting for resale, you're not really a collector. You're just somebody trying to use it as a business. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to make your money however you do it. But a lot of collectors are here for the passion. A lot of them are for the fun and the characters and all that kind of stuff. So enough soapbox from me, but not done with big rubber guy style figures. How about Saturday afternoon? Just randomly Saturday afternoon, Target pre-order goes up. It would be LJN Series 4. We got Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, blinded by the money, Todd and Mark. I've told that story before. CM Punk, and then we got Mr. Perfect, a beautiful one with that Mr. Perfect. And then the wild card, the surprise, a repaint, our first repaint in the LJN series, John Cena. Now that's a very interesting one because John Cena, very hard to get early on. So this is a way to maybe make fans happy to get another Cena out there. It's also making the most out of your molds. We know what that's all about. But it also makes me wonder, put my conspiracy hat on once again, was there somebody canceled out of this set where they just said, hey, let's just put a repainted Cena in there? I guess we're not really sure. Now these Accept Cena went up for pre-order on Fanatics WWE a couple of weeks ago. Now we get all 4 from Target. It's funny, I haven't heard anybody going and throwing a fit about Target just randomly putting them up for pre-order on a Saturday, like early evening. Saturday, I'm getting my days confused. It would have been a Friday night, basically, is when that went up. 7-3 is what it did. Yeah, the holiday gets confusing, boys. It gets confusing. But it was 7-3. It was like 6 o'clock nighttime or something, just randomly up there on the Target website. They have all since sold out. Haven't heard outrage about that. That is outrageous to me because it drives me crazy. But in a plot twist, for the first time ever, I got my pre-orders in on these LJN ones. I can't believe it. I actually did. I wasn't in the middle of a meeting. I wasn't somewhere. I was actually at dinner at Dave's Hot Chicken, and we'll get into that, boys. Dave's Hot Chicken last night. And I just saw it randomly pop up, and I said, Angie, here, order these, because I make Angie do everything with the Target app. I don't want any more apps on my phone. She handles it all. I just message her, and then she orders it and takes care of all that kind of stuff. But of course, I do take care of the bill, guys. I take care of that bill every month. And it's a wild thing when your Target bill every single month is more than your mortgage. Something's wrong with your life choices. That's what I'm finding in my family here, but story for another day. But another set of LJNs on the way. Very interesting with that Cena. Very interesting. I got my pre-order in as well. So very crazy weekend for rubber. Oh, rubber guys. I know it's a crazy weekend, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But we're not done. We got more surprise drops. 4th of July, figure collections, J&J Figure. So J&J Figures has 2 Macho Man exclusives that were dropped here on 4th of July. It's an OSFTM tribute Macho Man, kind of the same gear as that. And then the other one, I'm calling it the Starburst tribute with the pink and yellow. It looks like a Starburst Macho Man. Got to get the most out of your molds once again. Plenty of Macho Man. I am worn out by figure collections, big rubber guys. I got big rubber guys in the mind. Always got those big rubber guys in the mind. They're Bone Crusher style figures. I'm a little worn out with this Macho Man mold. I understand it. Got to get the most out of your molds. And J&J apparently wanted to dive in, have some exclusives. Good for them. But you can do the pre-order over there. You can buy one, you can buy both, you can do different bundle options. You can use code MAINER That's what they posted to save 10%. So if you want to put Mainer in there, you can save 10%. I did pre-order both of those just in case. I'm a Bone Cruncher kid, so these Bone Crushers are playing a lot of hits for me. But 2 more Macho Men to the collection. We'll see how that ends up netting out. Are you going to pick those up? Do you need those in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. But speaking of figure collections, they posted on the 4th of July a little bit of an updated sample of their upcoming Patriot Mattel Elite style figure. I'm very excited for that. Very excited for that line. We've seen Zombie Sailor Toys Pinnacle. We've seen Regime from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Now we're going to see figure collections. They're going to lead it off with the Patriot. Very interested to see how these scale up with everything else. So more to come on that, but a little nice peek ahead of what is going on with that on 4th of July with the old Patriot. And a lot of people are hoping Big Rubber Guy Patriot. I didn't rule it out, but when I found out 1 of 500, I figured they wouldn't just make 500 Patriots. They'd try to make more. Then you can make the Dark Patriot, all different colors. We'll see what happens in the future there. Maybe next year. Who knows? But figure collection is showing off Patriot. Can't wait for the pre-order on that one there. Speaking of Grapplers and Gimmicks, we talked yesterday, 1 of 500 SGT Slaughter. Of course, SGT Slaughter, an all-timer. Good friend. What's a Nemesis Enforcer, Mark Summers? You remember that one? Never forget that story. An oldie from early days of the channel where I met Sergeant Slaughter. And I told Sarge, I said, Sarge, I want to know how you defeated your greatest foe ever. I said it was just an epic battle, and I'm like building it up there for Sarge. He's sitting there real nice and listening to me, and we're building up the story. And I said, how did you finally defeat Nemesis Enforcer? And he looked me dead in the eye and said, what's a Nemesis Enforcer? He didn't even know. And then the G.I. Joe thing, he got back on contract, started to promote the movie. It was like the 30th anniversary or whatever it was. So I'm pretty sure he knows what a Nemesis Enforcer is now. And I've actually met SGT Slaughter 3 times since then. And I'm hoping I should have mentioned, hey, you remember that Nemesis Enforcer? Maybe, maybe not. I remember one time I met him at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame on a Saturday, and it was like the next Friday I saw him at San Diego Comic-Con. I said, hey, Sarge, you remember me from last Saturday? He had no idea. It was like 5 days later. You think you'd say, hey, yeah, the Waterloo Hall of Fame? Yeah, I remember you from that just a couple days ago. Sergeant. Old SGT, as he's known these days, as we know. The Grapplers and Gimmicks 1 of 500 edition, but the big news was 7/3, July 3rd. Grapplers and Gimmicks showed off Regime Raven, some updates. Looks like we're going to have arms that pop out like Ultimates, a little bit better articulation possibly on these. Constant learning, constant improvement. You go back to the early days of the Grappler Gimmicks retro line with The Godfather. That figure, very rough. Ahmed Johnson, a little bit better, and then we've seen the quality go way up. I think we're going to see that. We're going to see the Godwins, and then we're going to see Raven, and we're going to just keep going up. Constant learning, constant improvement. We say it all the time. That is very good for all these companies. That being said, you got to start off as hot as you can to gain the people, because we know another great saying around here, you lose a customer a loaf at a time, you get them back a slice at a time. So we'll see how it ends up going there. But that Raven coming along, very excited to see those in hand here sooner rather than later. And then some more shenanigan news out there. Top Rope Collectibles, who are making the WCW Galoob style figures, man, they've run into all kinds of stuff. Dare I say, Tom McFarlane, snake bitten. Yeah, snake bitten, as they've had a lot of issues with their factory, kind of holding them up for money. And I see this all the time in a lot of different manufactured goods. These companies of factories, these factories out there. And we've seen it, I believe, with Powertown numerous times here. Somebody says, hey, let's say Top Rope Collectibles come in, I want 5,000 figures ordered. They're like, okay, we'll do that for you. We got time. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, a month later, whatever, Todd McFarlane moses in, I need 1 million units produced. And they're just seeing dollar signs in their eyes. And they're like, hey, Top Rope Collectibles, get out of here. I'm moving you behind. So we're seeing some of that, some shenanigans back and forth. I appreciate Top Rope Collectibles being right out there telling everybody the story. I know some people are going back and forth saying this isn't on the up and up or whatever. I can only take people at their word until they break their word to me and I figure it out. But full transparency is always nice. I just hope this survives. Hopefully they get their figures. Hopefully everything works out. But delays have really stunted the growth of this company and a lot of these companies. Powertown, I don't even know if I put them in the same category as Powertown. But a lot of these companies, they have the ebbs and flows of business and it stunts their growth. And I think Top Rope Collectibles is basically going to be starting all over again once they do start. So we'll see what happens. They're going to have to get out there moving and shaking, pushing pencils and stuff like that to get their name back out there. But so far, what I've had and what I've unboxed, I have enjoyed. So good luck to them. Hopefully all these factory issues get worked out sooner rather than later. And a couple of other final notes here on this 4th of July hangover edition of the Toy News here. I mentioned I went to Dave's Hot Chicken beautiful all the time. I am so burned out on Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, KFC. I'll never be burned out. Guys, I'll never be burned out on KFC. It's an all-timer. The Colonel and me were like this. Love some KFC. I'll never get burned out on that. Popeyes just closed up shop in my town. There's like one on the north side of town, so I can still get some Popeyes, but shenanigans aplenty, all these Popeyes closing down. But Dave's Hot Chicken is my absolute favorite chicken place currently. Yeah, Slim Chickens, that's all right. I went there the other night. It wasn't the greatest. It's okay. I can eat it in a pinch. But Dave's Hot Chicken is the place to go. I love Dave's Hot Chicken. A little pricey. I'm not a big fan of the prices there. It's just absolutely, dare I say, ridiculous, Mark Summers. It is ridiculous over there. But Dave's Hot Chicken has the X-Men 97 meals going on. And we went there the other night. My kids like it. My daughter actually got the X-Men 97 meal. I said, well, since I'm paying, I'm calling dibs on the action figure. And I did get the Wolverine figure, the one I wanted. There's 4 figures going on, tied into the X-Men animated series that is streaming right now on Disney Plus, season 2 of the reboot. I can't wait to watch it. As of right now, I have not had a chance to watch it, but you know that's on my watch list. I loved X-Men animated series when I was a kid. Love the reboot as well. I'm all in. I'm all in for some more Dave's Hot Chicken too. I could eat there every single day until I can't. So if you're after X-Men 97, head over there. McFarlane Toys, we've talked about it last week. It looks like we now know there is Chase and Platinum editions coming out of the brand new Collector's Edition series. And it's the all-female wave, Todd McFarlane. Very proud of you putting all the females in there. A lot of people giving McFarlane some slack about his lack of female figures. He's going out with a bang, going all females. We got Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, and Hawkgirl regular and Platinum editions hitting stores right now. Hopefully to come across those in the next week or two in my area. We'll see what happens there. And last but certainly least, because I don't collect these, but we're talking G.I. Joe. We're talking the Glow Patrol, yellow and blue edition, Super 7, Reaction Plus figures. Green and blue, got to get the most out of your molds. Repaint City, first announced over there at Joe Fest. Available at Super 7 website with code KyleP to save 0%. Yes, 0%, but you can support the channel. So head over to Super 7 if you're after the Glow Patrol figures there. Very similar to the Soul Patrol, as you guys know. But Super 7 Reaction Plus figures, fun for what they are. There's only so much stuff you can collect, so I do pass on these. But if I had all the OG 3 3/4 figures still, I would probably get these just to mix in there because they're making characters we never had before, some different characters. Could be a good supplemental collection to go with those. Maybe, maybe not. But there it is, a bonus edition of the Toy News here, the 4th of July Hangover Edition. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their 4th of July if they celebrated. Make sure you check out yesterday's Toy News, a supersized Toy News. You got a lot of Power Town update. No updates here, unfortunately, today. But man, Ibiza, Denny, and Steve, need I say more? Check out the Power Town update yesterday. Check out the whole Toy News video. Plenty of videos between 2 YouTube channels with content every single day. Plenty of stuff to keep you busy. Please check them out. Subscribe to both channels. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships. Plenty of content every single day over there. Bonus content, giveaways, Q&As. All the glamour shots, you name it, it's going down on Patreon. You can even be a free member if you want to sign up for a free membership over there. Check out the old Patreon. Appreciate the support. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available where podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. Latest episode up right now for Patreon YouTube channel memberships. It's all about that locker room talk. Oh, watch out for the towels, guys. Or girls in this case, in this video. So check that out as well. And don't forget my books, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstars series, both available right now, of course, at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So for another week of the Toy News, you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another work week.
We're gonna dance or we're gonna play. We're going to the end of the line.